Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. It's time for Wolo and Friends on Sports 56, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here's your host, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Breaking news on this Wednesday morning, March the 9th. The Memphis Grizzlies have a warrant out for their arrest for murder last night. They literally ran all over the New Orleans Pelicans. I mean to tell you that another 40-point first quarter. I believe, J-Mo, that's their 15th this year.
It's incredible.
40 points in the first quarter. Like they were over 100 with, I want to say, 5 minutes to go in the third.
Yeah,
crazy.
That's right.
They had 42 fast break points. If my memory serves me correctly, Ian Eagle, who was on the call last night for TNT National Game, says that's the most in the NBA this year.
Which would make sense. And the Grizzlies lead the league in that category.
I mean, they are just so fast and so much fun to watch. Ja near triple-double again, and the final was 132-111. They were up by as many as 36 in the game. Now they stay a half a game ahead of Golden State because Golden State was a winner over the Clippers last night. They ended their little 5-game losing streak. And then there was all kinds of NFL craziness yesterday. Turns out I still don't know what the exact deal with Aaron Rodgers is.
I don't think anybody does yet.
So we know he's going back to Green Bay. We
Right.
know it's a 4-year deal. We know it's going to be a guaranteed deal for X amount of money. We just don't know how much because Ian Rappaport had it as a $200 million deal. What was it, $153 million guaranteed?
That's right.
And then Pat
McAfee, former punter for the Colts. He has his own little.
Yeah. He's ESPN is trying to make him the next big guy.
He's gone away from ESPN now. He runs his own company now.
Really?
That's right.
Because it was rumored that when Lee Corso was going to finally retire. And I hope Lee Corso does it as long as he possibly can because I love the guy. But I want to say that McAfee was the guy they had tabbed to be the replacement for Corso in that sort of character role.
I think when they came
sort
to
of
Memphis,
play off Herb Street.
When he came to Memphis, he was here for it. I believe.
Well, he was doing bits then.
That's right.
He was
okay.
like one of those reporters that Aaron Andrews would do something and. Before she went to Fox, and then she was replaced by, they had the guy that went to Fox that makes you cry all the time.
Tom Rinaldi.
I wish he hadn't gone to Fox. I just was shocked when he went to Fox. I thought he would be an ESPN kind of lifer like Van Pelt. That one was a reporter, one's the anchor. I really thought that was, something you would see forever. But anyway, that's the way life goes. I think Fox paid him pretty good money to go. But McAfee was supposed to be the guy, I think, that was being groomed for sort of the guy to play off of Herb Street once Corso went away. But I didn't realize he's gone. But I do know he has the show, and I do know he's a confidant of Rodgers because he's been on that show before. So I got to kind of lean toward McAfee over Rappaport. But we don't know. I think what Rodgers then tweeted out was, I'm staying, but that deal is inaccurate.
Right.
So we don't know. But what a crazy day, because then you had this blockbuster with the Seattle Seahawks. And I still can't figure out who really wins in all of this. In the short term, the Denver Broncos do. There's no doubt about that. So the Russell Wilson trade is to Denver. And I think Denver really thought they were going to get Aaron Rodgers. When Aaron Rodgers decided to stay in Green Bay, now they had to do something because they just don't feel Drew Lock is the guy, right?
They claimed that this deal had been in the works for like 2 weeks, but I feel like the timing is far too.
Yeah, what are you going to say? You're not going to say we really wanted Aaron Rodgers.
Exactly.
We're settling for Russell Wilson. You're not going to say that.
Yeah, exactly.
So you have to kind of look through the tea leaves there and figure that one out. So here's the deal. let's just say what Denver gets, because that's easy. Denver gets Russell Wilson, and they get a 4th-round pick in this year's draft, and they get a tight end, like a backup tight end, not a big name. Right?
Not at all.
Yeah. All right. Here's what the Seahawks get.
A haul, if you could say that.
Well, a haul for a future.
Right.
I mean, you're not getting anything right now. You just lost one of the top 7 quarterbacks in the league. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I mean,
I think at one time you could have said one of the top 3.
That's what they were talking about this morning on First Take. Is like, what does he rank in the AFC quarterbacks immediately? He's like top 2, top 3, top 5 at worst, maybe.
Yeah. No, he's terrific, but he's not what he was.
Not at all.
His stock has slipped over the last 2 or 3 years. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Since they were in the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
that was how many years ago? 7 years ago? It's been a while.
Yeah.
He's still a top 7 or 8 guy, though, I would have to say. I mean, he's not better than Rodgers. He wasn't better than Brady this year. He's certainly not better than Mahomes. I don't think he's better than Josh Allen.
Yeah, 2014.
So yeah, I was right. So it's 8 years ago.
Wow, time we talked about that yesterday. Time just flies when you talk about this stuff.
Yeah. So anyway, he's still a top 10 guy. He may
No
not
doubt.
even be a top 7 guy at this moment, honestly.
So you're not attracted by Drew Lock going to Seattle?
No,
Not at all.
no.
Noah Fant's pretty good though, the tight end.
So they get a 1st-round pick this year and a 1st-round pick next year. They get a 2nd-round pick this year and a 2nd-round pick next year. And then they get a 5th-round pick this year. 3 picks this year. So they will end up with all of their picks plus those 3 this year. And then 2 more next year and 1 and 2. Seattle is really mortgaging Denver is really mortgaging their future for right now because they think they have a good enough team if they have the right signal caller.
While also just firing their coach. You know what I mean? It's a very interesting juxtaposition of going all in with this quarterback while also having a whole new regime coming in to start anew.
I think that GM figures he's got the personnel, the new ownership group figures they have the personnel. They just didn't have the leadership. They didn't have a quarterback. And they can go a long way if they mortgage the farm right now, and that is exactly what they have done. Only time will tell on all of that. It is crazy. March is always crazy. So last night, Bryant won its conference championship. That's the NEC title. So Bryant goes to the NCAA for the very first time. Now, that win with all that jubilation and elation all marred by a fight that stopped the game for a half an hour. The fight was in the stands. No players really got to the stands. One who tried to get in was ejected from the game. I think he gets to still play in the first round of the NCAA tournament, though. I don't think he's, lost for the first half or anything like that.
I wonder what prompted somebody to want to go into the stands to join in when they see that happening. Maybe it was they heard something astray said that they wanted to make it make themselves a part of it,
or they knew one of the participants
maybe so.
in the fight and wanted to defend that particular participant.
Maybe so.
Who knows? They to this day, at this moment, last time I read about it, which was just an hour and a half, 2 hours ago, they didn't know what started it. They have a lot of video, but they don't really know what started it, and they do know that no players entered the fracas, but one did try. And that's it. That's crazy. Is that crazier than Bellarmine? Bellarmine. I can remember this, the truth. Years ago, Metro Conference tournament, the Metro used to play the men's tournament at Freedom Hall. They would play simultaneously with the women on occasion. And the women, I think they might play like a game or two at Freedom Hall, but for the most part, the tournament was held at Bellarmine, which at the time, it's a Catholic school. It's a small school in Louisville, Kentucky, and it's been Division II forever. So they decided, There's no money in Division II. We got a good school. Let's invest a little bit. Let's try to get to D1. So they get into this league, the Atlantic Sun. But the problem is and I really don't understand why the NCAA does this. There's a lot of stuff I don't understand why the NCAA does. But it's like, okay, we'll let you come Division I, but you got to pay a price to get up this level. You can't go to the big dance for 4 years. It used to be 6 years, if I recall correctly. If you tried to go up, you had to pay a penalty of like 6 or 7 years. It was ridiculous. It's still ridiculous.
I was wondering what kind of fraud they would be avoiding with a rule like that. What would they? I was trying to think of scenarios that would be like that would be why they had this rule put in place.
You know, I think that they did that to protect the quality of the product of a league.
I see.
At first, and maybe there was some logic behind that 50 years ago, where if a Division II school really didn't have that many resources or had put that much in, now they're making the investment, but it's going to take them time to build up. You don't have transfer portals back then. And kids didn't transfer like they do now. So you had to go back to recruit. It was going to be 3 or 4 years. I don't know why they added it. It was, I want to say at first it was like a 7-year transition period. It's crazy. So Bellarmine is not eligible to play in the NCAA tournament until 2025, right? 2025. So my question for you is, if the A-Sun knows that, why are they letting them play in a tournament that if they win, they can't go?
Well, I think when you have leagues of that size that are that small, to me, this is just my perspective, would be that tournament for all of those teams, that is their big dance, because if you're a one big league or maybe a league like that, you don't anticipate much coming from your trip to the NCAA tournament. It's just like a reward for your hard work for the season. So I do think Bellarmine probably still takes a lot of pride in winning their league's tournament and basically winning the championship.
I don't fault Bellarmine. I fault the A-Sun. I fault the A-Sun because, I'm going to go back again to the Metro. Larry Finch, maybe his first year, could have been his second year. I can't remember which. I think it might have been his first. Memphis was on probation for things that Dana Kirk's era did. And they played Louisville in Freedom Hall for the conference championship. Now, back in those days, this is like 1986. Back in those days, there were not as many at-large berths. And as good as the Metro was, I think this was truly a punishment and a message that was being sent by the NCAA, which at that time, it was a lot more powerful than it is in this day and age. This prior to college football playoff committee and they still controlled all sports in those days. And Memphis, on probation, could not play. And they knew going into the tournament they could not play in the NCAA because they were banned for that year, 1 year. I'm guessing that at that point, the Metro was going, Memphis brings a lot of people. I mean, we will have huge crowds if Memphis plays Louisville. I mean, it'll be packed at Freedom Hall. And, Memphis is going to bring 5,000, 6,000 people, which they did. And so they were right on that premise. Memphis upset Louisville. Louisville was the number 1 seed that I believe won the regular season championship. I think Memphis had maybe split with them in the regular season. And Memphis beats them and Denny Crum in the championship game. And the NCAA said, you shouldn't have been playing a team that wasn't eligible to play in the NCAA. No one goes. No one goes. And after that, I have never seen a team. Now, this is a little different because this team wasn't being punished for NCAA violations. But since that time in the mid-'80s, there has not been a team that was even eligible to play in the NCAA tournament that was allowed to play in a conference tournament.
I think there was one that came close a couple years ago. I was reading earlier. I can't remember what team it was, but it ended up not happening. They lost in the conference tournament or lost in some round or something like that, too. A very rare situation. Never seen anything like this before.
This is weird because they knew on the front end what could happen. And then the other thing that kind of makes it weird to me is that They're playing Jacksonville State for the championship. Okay? Jacksonville won the regular season. So Jacksonville, because of the Bellarmine win, Jacksonville, the regular season champ, goes to the dance. But to me, Jacksonville State had beaten Jacksonville in the tournament. Why wouldn't you just declare, since they had beaten them in the tournament, that it's Jacksonville State over Jacksonville that goes?
Seems like a participation trophy to me, Dave, because the Jacksonville is a champion. Jacksonville State was never a champion. They were runners-up to being champions.
They beat them in the semifinal game to take on Bellarmine.
Well, that's a semifinal champion, not a champion.
So you like what the A-Sun did by giving it to the regular season champ, even though Jacksonville had just beaten Jacksonville. Jacksonville State had just beaten Jacksonville.
I actually don't think I do like it, but I was just arguing on behalf of their decision.
Okay. You can argue all you want.
Dissenting opinion.
That is crazy. I don't know. Was that declared at the very beginning that if Bellarmine wins, Jacksonville gets to go?
It must have been.
I mean, you have to make that declaration, right, unless you're just saying, well, I don't know how they did that. I'm torn because I don't think it's fair that Bellarmine doesn't go. I really don't. I don't understand why in this day and age they have that waiting period, but they do.
Especially when they're good enough to win that league. And you're only giving them one bid anyway. Why not give it to the team that won it?
I would have probably said to Bellarmine on the front, we love you. Thank you for coming in. We'll give you maybe a share of some of the proceeds from this tournament, but you're not allowed to play in the tournament because our champion has to go. And that would have been, I think, the more credible thing to do. Because now there's, if you're looking and you're saying, well, Jacksonville's going, they lost in the tournament. Why are they going? Well, they won the regular season, but I get that, but it just doesn't seem right.
Also, though, this is great exposure, for the any publicity is good publicity argument, I suppose.
Well, I guess
a lot of people are talking about this league today too.
Yeah,
not as much as maybe the Bryant Fight League either.
No, what's the name of the league?
Oh, that's a great question.
It's the A-Sun.
The A-Sun.
So you didn't even know.
No,
there goes that argument for you, my friend. We throw that one out the window. Last thing last night, South Dakota State. The Jackrabbits. You know how many they've won in a row, beating their rival North Dakota State?
How many?
To win the that's not the Horizon. What is that? Is that the Summit?
I believe it's the Summit. I'm checking right now.
I thought that was the arena, the Summit, but it could be the league. It could be the Summit League. It's got to be the Summit League. That's what it is. I know it's not the Horizon.
Jackrabbits, the Summit League. That's correct.
It is the Summit League. They've won 19 games in a row. They've won 25 games, I think, now.
They didn't lose a game in their league all year. That's a team that's going to make some noise. I mean, I know it's a small league, and who cares about the Summit winning all those games, but you win 30 games in a season, you're a good basketball team.
No, I agree. It'll be fun to watch them play. And that was a great game. Did you watch any of that game?
I did not.
Oh, okay. You were just watching the Grizz.
That's right.
So the Grizzlies go up 36. I'm going, this is ridiculous. I got to watch some March Madness. That's what I was watching I was going back and forth, but I watched a lot of the Gonzaga game, which Gonzaga, by the way, ended up down the stretch. It was a good game until the last 5 minutes, and they beat St. Mary's in the rubber match there. But San Diego State, North Dakota State, South Dakota State, North Dakota State. That game was a fabulous game. It truly was. Oh, and last thing, before we take a break, we bring our friend Stats in. We'll get his take on this one, too. We're going to talk some SEC basketball game with him because today, he's got Wolo hours today. Yeah.
Oh, because of Ole Miss baseball. Or Ole Miss basketball.
Ole Miss basketball.
Excuse me.
They play Missouri at 4:30 right here on Sports 56 and 98.5. But the Major League Baseball Players Union and the owners met yesterday for I think it was 17 hours.
Long day.
Long day. And they made progress. So I don't think it'll happen while we're on the air today. It'll probably happen a little bit later today. But there is going to be a response from the players to the owner's latest offer after going back and forth. 17 hours of bargaining, some breakthroughs. they actually have thrown out there could be saving the 162-game season. That's the first we've heard that language. So that makes you think, ooh, this could be getting close. We shall see. I think they've agreed on a bunch of different matters. And so fingers crossed, we have a baseball season. And I'll talk with Brett about this too. The IARP, they have sent their notice of allegations to LSU, football and basketball. So you got to wonder, is Memphis right around the corner? And please wait till after the darn NCAA tournament, IARP, to release any kind of findings on the Memphis basketball team. But this one includes Will Wade and football. So
Coach O football or Les Miles football? Or maybe both.
No, this goes back to 2017. So that would probably be Coach O. Miles was gone by 2017.
That was Coach O's first year.
Yeah. So we'll see what that is all about. Again, a lot of things are on hold. I'm sitting in the Family Leisure Studios. Yes, indeed, spring is here. Get started on that outdoor living space. Isn't that the new thing? You know, we have screened-in porches. We've expanded out. We got these outdoor kitchens now that are the new rage. You got outdoor television sets. They're the new rage. We love expanding our own space, especially I think the pandemic taught us how important homes are. And Family Leisure gets it, and they have all this state-of-the-art, all the 2022 patio furniture. It's hitting the floor. It's every day they get new stuff in there. They got hot tubs ready for delivery, great deals on play gyms. I saw the latest trampolines. These things look really safe. First of all, they're all sort of enclosed with that mesh. They're so cool looking. They got grills. I got a bowl. They're the best. Outdoor kitchens, like I mentioned, that's the newest rage. They got it all at Family Leisure. Let us take a break. When we come back, Brett Norsworthy comes your way on Wolo and Friends.
You have opinions?
Like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad.
We want to hear them. Call or text us on the AutoZone listener line at 360-8255. That's the AutoZone listener line at 901-360-8255.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Hi, friends. I'm Bill Russell at Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers, and for 5 decades, we've been the personal jeweler to thousands of Memphians and Mid-Southerners. For many, many years, we've been offering the finest and beautiful jewelry to help our customers celebrate those very special occasions and let their loved ones know just how treasured they are. Diamonds and gemstones are our specialty, and set in whatever she wants, a ring or a pendant, a pair of earrings or a bracelet. We search the world's most fabulous jewelry markets, looking for pieces that are not only exquisite and beautiful, but that are also unique and eye-catching. We can help you make her smile in a way that neither one of you will ever forget. Come see us at Russell Brothers Jewelers. Let us put our many years of experience to work for you. Let us help you say, I love you in the most wonderful way you can imagine. 5 decades providing beauty, value, quality, and service. Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers, 4646 Poplar at Perkins.
Looking for a new job? Contact Pro Resume. Sending out hundreds of resumes. No response? Contact Pro Resume. Tired of working for peanuts? Contact Pro Resume. Pro Resume's the resume expert in the Mid-South. Go to proresume.biz or call 685-1950. The fastest way to a new job.
Get in the game, Mid-South. Coach Colin.
And Coach Hunter here from DeSoto Auto Sales.
We're maniacs for all this madness.
But if we're going to catch all these games, we need your help.
So we cooked up a 3-point plan to help you
Rebound from your old ride.
1.
Pick any nicer, newer car on the lot.
2.
Pass us your old ride.
3.
Will come in with the assist.
And give you up to $3,000 more than Kelley Blue Book value.
Based on the price of the car you pick.
So if your old rod makes you feel second string,
it's time for a rebound.
Because you could get up to $3,000 more than it's worth.
Worried about fouls on your credit report?
Our For the People credit approval process is a slam dunk.
But hurry.
This deal's done at the buzzer.
I'm Colin.
And I'm Hunter, and we're your dealers.
For the people. See all the cars at DeSotoAutoSales.com.
That's DeSotoAutoSales.com.
Credit requires bank approval. Vehicle purchase price determines actual trade allowance. Negative equity may be refinanced. Kelley Blue Book is a registered trademark of the Kelley Blue Book Company Incorporated, which is not affiliated with DeSoto Auto Sales. Offer absolutely ends March 31st, 2022.
I'm here with Kyle Storms from Big Green Egg. Kyle, I hear people all the time say how they love their Big Green Egg, but what makes a Big Green Egg so great?
Thanks, Stats. The fact that our grill is made out of the highest quality ceramic allows our customers to smoke, bake, roast, sear, and grill, all while locking in the most amount of heat and flavor in their favorite foods.
What kind of fuel does the Big Green Egg use?
100% natural lumpwood charcoal. That's really where half our flavor comes from.
How many sizes does the Big Green Egg come in?
We have 7 different sizes and all different configurations ranging from metal stands, wood tables, and metal carts with a lifetime warranty. So we really do have a size and price point for everyone.
Where can someone go to see the entire lineup of Big Green Egg?
Garden Spas and Pool, Germantown Hardware, Hamilton's Fireplace and Grills, East Memphis Ace, and Cordova Ace Hardware.
Simple, smooth, and every sip as easy as the last. Tito's handmade vodka tastes just as good with tap water as it does with your favorite mixer. Back in the day, Tito distilled, hand bottled, taste tested, sent to a few friends, then taste tested again to give you the finest juice around. No frills, no flavors, no fancy labels, just the good stuff. Just Tito's. For recipes, videos, and more, visit Tito'sVodka.com.
Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas, 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
Now, back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again, it's the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Our title sponsor is Homer Skelton Hyundai, where you will never pay more than sticker price. I don't care how much shortages there are, computer chips, whatever, what that price is saying on the window, that is what you will pay at Homer Skelton Hyundai. Never more. Some other dealerships are not saying that. They've raised the bar at Highway 78 and Craft Road, first exit in Mississippi. They've raised it. This is the way car business should be done right there. We're going to talk Ole Miss basketball, their tournament game with Missouri, the whole SEC tourney with Brett Norsworthy in a minute. He's brought to you in part by the good folks at Conway Services, heating, cooling, plumbing, electric, those famous tune-ups. They always go the extra mile. That great service, the Comfort Club. There are so many different things that you will really like about Conway Services, heating, cooling, plumbing, electric. It just goes with the service. Twice a year, you should get a tune-up. They'll make sure that your system lasts longer. It's only $69, and even better if you join the Comfort Club. Find out about it. That award-winning service is cool. 384-3511, 384-3511. Conway Services, heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. Brett Norsworthy, you hear him every day on Sports Time with Gabe at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I've got some hopeful feeling about baseball all of a sudden after seeing those 17 hours worth of meetings yesterday. What do you think?
Yeah, Dave, I think good morning. I think it costs the same thing to be optimistic as pessimistic, but boy, haven't they burned us before. And I am prepared that if the news breaks right now, we got a deal, well, of course, I'll be happy, and let's get to spring training, let's get free agency going, let's get rosters satisfied. I'm going to start planning some trips. I'm going to go, can't wait. But why in the world did we have to go through A, this last week, B, this last 3.5, 4 months? If you can do all this, basically, they've really been hardball negotiating 2.5, 3 weeks. Why in the world did they not start this December 5th, January 5th, February 5th? We get up to the last second, and what they did is they blew one of the great times, the Hot Stove League, right, and the sales time for their advanced sales, for their sales department. I mean, I think enough people are embittered at best and downright done with baseball at worst that, we're back, tickets are for sale. Hey, scram up, stick them. I think a lot of people will say. And baseball just always inflicts this damage on itself. Whenever opening day is, Rob Manfred should turn in his resignation.
Well,
that
that's
day.
it. I mean, to me, it's clearly leadership, and there has not really been a great leader in the commissioner's office in a long, long time. It is all too one-sided for the owners. That is, in essence, it's been the way it has been most.
Well, they got a good deal in front of those players right now. That's a good deal for the players. If they don't take this one, I don't know what they're waiting on.
It's a better deal. That is for sure. I think, and we talked with Tim Doolin about this yesterday, I think the players are trying to make up for getting killed in the last 3 or 4 bargaining sessions going back 20 years. And they're trying to make it all up now, and it's just not going to happen. But this seems to be a more reasonable deal. I agree with you.
And Tim knows, and Tim's very good on the subject, and he knows. He also knows this. They can't make it all up. And for these players right now, Curt Flood gave up his career.
Yep.
Some would say his life for what he did. I mean, he threw himself in front of the train. None of these guys want to do that. I mean, Adam Wainwright wants that. He wants that going away party at Busch Stadium come October. Yadier Molina wants that. Max Scherzer doesn't have that many laps left around the track. Clayton Kershaw doesn't have that. None of those guys are going to throw themselves in front of the train for the future guys.
No. And you're right. And Curt Flood was heroic. Curt Flood probably belongs in the Hall of Fame.
For no other reason, taking the arrows.
Well, first of all, his cohort, Miller is
Marvin Miller.
He is in the Hall of Fame, and I think he should have gone along in right next with him, right next to him.
I agree, Dave. And then on the field, he was an exemplary player. But if for no other reason, the revolutionary that he was, the good kind of revolutionary, ones that you have to have throughout history, whether it's sports or otherwise, Curt Flood should go in for being that.
Because, no pun intended here, or really there is a pun intended, but he opened up the floodgate for what free agency
He
is.
sure did. He sure did, and was a great center fielder.
Oh, yeah.
And the trade with the Reds was the linchpin trade, and it's so well chronicled in October 1964 by the late David Halberstam. That was the really critical trade to get him to solidify the Cardinals and their run in the 60s and in the Lou Brock trade. Sorry, Dave.
Don't bring that up, please. My hero.
Had to bring that one up, didn't I?
My hero. I love Lou.
I know. Spoke to you, Cub Scout troop. It's a great story.
Yeah, it really was a great story. In the meantime, Ole Miss, Missouri, 4:30 today. You got Wolo hours today. Good for you.
Yeah, we do. Thank you.
But before we get into that action, it is very timely because if Ole Miss wins this game, they play LSU next. And LSU yesterday received the notice of allegations on basketball and football.
Clean sweep for LSU.
What they call the complex case unit, which is part of the independent accountability resolution process, better known as the IARP. These things go back to 2017. And I know, just like me, we followed all this because we have an interest in it because of Memphis, too. They're the other group in with the IARP. We have no real idea what's going to go on. I think media organization, is now trying to use sunshine rules to get public access to know what the allegations truly are and what Will Wade and Ed Orgeron might be looking at. Ed is just collecting money. That's all he's doing.
And promising not to talk.
Do you?
As part of his severance package.
Right. Do you think they get the book thrown at them? Or you have any kind of feel for what's going to happen?
No, I don't, Dave.
I don't either.
I don't because LSU always skates. And one of the bigger reasons, I know he's not overseeing this, but he has long tentacles and he has a lot of contacts. Mark Emmert used to be the boss at LSU, has a family relationship. I think I'm right on this. The current AD at LSU, Scott Woodward, has a stepson married to Mark Emmert's daughter. I think I have it right.
There is a familial connection, but that's reaching.
Well, I mean that's closer than not having one.
Yeah,
and LSU always seems to get away with it. You're already seeing and the LSU proletariat, the LSU media, they're already writing stories of it was a long time ago. Let bygones be bygones. The big bad word deal. That was offered a long time ago. Let's move along. Nothing to see here. Guarantee you they wouldn't be taking that stand if it was Nick Saban in Alabama football.
Oh, absolutely not. No. And I Will Wade, one thing about Will Wade is he has chutzpah. Because he basically said,
man, he's got it.
He basically said, I don't care what you say. Come get me. Come get me. And they haven't come and gotten him at least until now.
I'm going to make a bold statement. I don't think Will Wade's that good a coach.
Well, you know what? I don't think this year is one of his better teams. I can remember several years ago, he had so much talent on that team, particularly in the backcourt, and they didn't go very
When's he ever cashed it in?
No, he hasn't. He really has not.
And Dave, we know some fundamentals will win out the rest of the way. Look how the Tigers have improved at the charity stripe with their free throw shooting. But for the Tigers, still 265th nationwide in free throw shooting. But look how far they've advanced with that. It's going to be the little things, and I don't think LSU I don't think they ever do the little things that well. And they'll get the winner of that Ole Miss Mizzou game today. Ole Miss already up to a 4.5 point favorite. Started at 2. It's rapidly gone up, them being the favorite. And I think everybody knows this is the last walk of Conzo Martin.
Well, it's already reported that Crean is going as soon as this game is over with Georgia and Vandy, which is the second game of the SEC
Tickets
tournament.
available in Tampa.
Yeah.
Maybe sections.
I would say you could probably sit on the bench if you wanted to.
Get set by the announcer if you'd like.
Exactly. Conzo Martin has to be gone. It's never worked for him at Missouri. Did he ever have a good year there?
Yeah, had some decent years, and had the good year at Tennessee, and then he got out to Cal, and was good in his first big breakthrough job at Missouri State. But he's never been that good at Mizzou, and Mizzou, I think at one time really fancied themselves as a basketball first school. I don't know if it still does or not, but if it is, it's not very much, and football has come along pretty good. Sure did with when they first got in the league with Gary Pinkel to now, and then Barry Odom, then now Eli Drinkwitz. But he's gone. We know Tom Crean's gone. And the SEC team that can really make that big jump and maybe be a bid stealer, they don't play until the 11 o'clock game tomorrow, and that's Texas A&M. They played well down the stretch. They've worked themselves into about a 56-57 net. They're in that grouping with Florida and Mississippi State in that net area. That's the three teams that can steal a bid. If they don't break through, then it's going to be really chalk at the SEC with Auburn, the 1 seed, Tennessee, the 2, Kentucky, the 3, and Eric Musselman's Razorbacks, the 4.
And I think out of all those 4 teams at the top, not saying they will, but I think because of this year and with the flaw in so many teams that might be higher seeded when it comes to the big dance, I think any one of those teams actually has a chance to win the national title.
To win it all? You think Tennessee and Arkansas can win it all?
I do. I
think they can go to the Final Four. But if you get to the Final Four, you win on Saturday. You're playing for it all right. So
that's it. If the matchup is good, if some team kind of falters,
that's it, Dave. And matchups, and shots falling. Josh Pastner was right. You got to make shots this time of year. It's that simple.
It's hard to win.
It is hard to win. And Dave, you will feel it. It'll be a good feeling for you, and I know you want it. I know it means a lot to you, and I know you throw everything into it. But this weekend at Fort Worth at Dickies Arena, it will be the good kind of the good kind of nervous for you and for the fans. And this is what Tiger fans have wanted. And to be heading off to the conference tournament, really with house money, the Tigers are in. They can't blow it.
I think they are. I mean, even Mike DeCourcy on this show yesterday said,
and he's pretty guarded,
unless they lost by 20 in the first game, and if they played UCF, that's a net 95 team. It's not a horrible loss. But, I won't.
But you don't want to get scratched up.
No, I won't be nervous if they beat UCF, and that's the team I think they'll play. If they win that game, and I think they will, then I won't be nervous because I think if they were to lose to SMU, I still think they're going to be in the regular tournament. But the worst that could happen is they would go to Dayton.
And won't that be some strange dynamic trying to avert the 3-game season sweep against SMU?
And
if you do, and then you try to pull the 3-game season sweep over Houston. I think Houston's really good. It was fun at the Tiger game Sunday. Look, for all the criticism of Penny Hardaway, and I've had mine, You beat Kelvin Sampson 2 times in a year after he's been to the Final Four and where he has that program, you've made strides from first day you were head coach at Memphis.
There's no doubt. And to me, and this was the same thing with Calipari teams. Anybody that says that John Calipari's not a good coach is just – they're not worth listening to because
he's in the Hall of Fame.
They don't know what the heck they're talking about.
They didn't put him in the Hall of Fame for jollies.
Just like Cal's teams, they always got better at the end. You're talking about free throw shooting. Now, that is a weird thing. I don't quite understand that. But you mentioned where they are now, right? They're still way down in the national statistics. In this 10 out of 11, they have hit 80% in those games. And look at how bad they still are. What are they, 68 or 69% now?
Yeah, close to 70. Yeah, 69 and some change. And they could go to the free throw line the last 10 games blindfolded and make them. And then there was a time that they couldn't make it for anything. It's really odd in how the ebb and flow, the fit and start of a season. But the SEC, they get going today with 2. This is the worst 2 games, and then really gets rolling tomorrow. And this is it for anywhere other than Nashville. Literally contracted with Nashville after this year in Tampa as far as the eye can see. And that's where it'll be. And Kentucky fans will start rolling in tomorrow. And I think Arkansas would take some fans, but a lot of the Razorback fans I know and some of the Tennessee fans I know, they're all holding back for next week. I think similar to how some Tiger fans are looking at even going to Dickies Arena this week.
Isn't that funny, though? Because it used to be Arkansas. Now, it would be Dallas, so it would be so much closer, but –
yeah, that's when Reunion Arena was Barnhill South.
Right. They would go no matter what. They would go to the conference championship, the conference tournament, in numbers.
Well, and then $4 gasoline, too.
And they would go to the NCAA. Now, that may be a part of it as well. And let's face it, Tampa is not going to Dallas if you live in the state of Arkansas.
It sure isn't.
It's a long way.
It's not going to Dallas if you live in Atlanta.
Is it a good thing to have it in Nashville all the time, do you think?
Well, you have a sellout because of Kentucky.
Right.
The tournament makes money. Now, everybody else to get in on the fun, it makes it very difficult.
I think it gives Kentucky home court advantage. So
it absolutely does. I think it helped the Kentucky in the women's game last weekend. You saw John Calipari made the trip down for the finals, but this is a great time of year. Just all the games. Literally today, basketball's already started at 10:30 a.m. It will go tonight to 12:45 tomorrow morning.
And you know what? The only games you're going to miss are from 3 to 6 today.
That's it. Well 4:30. We got to get out of the way. For Ole Miss.
Right.
But Gabe and I, we're having fun, and we'll do brackets, and we're going to beat you in the brackets too.
I'll submit my bracket to you guys for sure. No question. Last thing, you got to give me a winner. Who wins the SEC? Who wins the American?
The American tournament is going to be the Memphis Tigers, and then that works them into about a 7 seed.
Ooh, I hope so.
And at the SEC tournament, I think it'll be Calipari and Bruce Pearl on Sunday afternoon, with John Calipari getting revenge from the regular season.
Wow,
game.
Love it. Very good. Thank you, Brett. We appreciate it. We'll be listening at 3 o'clock today.
Dave, be safe.
You got it.
Have fun, too.
That is our man, Brett Norsworthy. He is brought to you in part by the good folks at Old Dominick. What a great place Old Dominick is. You know they're big Tiger supporters. They are partners of the Tigers, and they're located right in the heart of downtown. They give you full distillery tours. They got curated tastings. They got craft cocktails. They got this great little bar that is elegant but not stuffy. It's a really cool place to go. And by the way, you can pick up the Old Dominick products, like their great bourbon that is about to come out. You can pick that up not only downtown but in spirit shops all across the city. It is our hometown distillery. It is Old Dominick. We pause for a second. When we come back, Jarvo from Action News 5 joins us. He's right around the corner.
Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio, presented by Tito's Vodka, from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Do you want a greener, more weed-free lawn? If you're like me, you can't stand the sight of dandelions, clover, or especially crabgrass. Hi, I'm Brandon Hawley, president of Lawn Solutions. We are your locally owned and operated weed control and fertilization company. We are also experts in disease and insect control on your lawn and landscape. Our uniformed technicians are full-time, year-round licensed and certified by the state of Tennessee. Lawn Solutions' personalized service is far more superior to that of national companies that promise but simply cannot deliver. We return phone calls, we keep appointments, and we want your business. What we will not do is bother you with endless phone calls or junk mail. Lawn Solutions will not sell you something your lawn doesn't need. If you're looking for a local lawn care company to kill your weeds and feed your grass, then Lawn Solutions is the finest. Call us at 867-5626. That's 867-5626. Or go online at lawnsolutionsinc.net. From our family to yours, we want to thank you for your business.
For years, I have talked to you about James Davis, the finest men's store in all of Memphis, the service, the selection, everything that goes with quality. And I've told you recently about the Stant Perfect Fit shirts. Well, now there's the Stant Perfect Fit pants. Absolutely amazing. Only 2 measurements fed into a computer, and all of a sudden, you've got the perfect fit pants. I'm talking everywhere. The leg, the seat, the bottom, all made to fit your body absolutely perfectly. And there's 80 different fabrics to choose from. You will find the right look, the right fit, almost instantaneously. They start at $162, but you will never find a better pair of pants than these at James Davis Men's Store. And the shirts are still there, and guess what? It's the only place in Memphis that you can find Stant. That's the James Davis Men's Store in the Laurelwood Shopping Center.
Hi, folks, Bob Burkhammer for the Sunrise Truck Corral. Gonna buy a truck? Sunrise has new trucks, used trucks, big trucks, little trucks, custom trucks, factory trucks, long bed trucks, short bed trucks, regular cab trucks, extended cab trucks, crew cab trucks, 4-cylinder trucks, 6-cylinder trucks, 8-cylinder trucks, 2-wheel drive trucks, 4-wheel drive trucks, all-wheel drive trucks, GMC trucks, Chevy trucks, Ford trucks, Dodge trucks, diesel trucks, SUVs, light-duty trucks, heavy-duty trucks, trucks for rich folks, trucks for poor folks, trucks for young folks, trucks for old folks. Want a truck? Go online to the Sunrise Truck Corral, the old Hummer building in Bartlett.
It's conference championship week in college basketball, and FanDuel Sportsbook has an offer you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can place their first college basketball bet risk-free. And if you don't win, you'll get up to $1,000 back. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, now is the perfect time to give it a shot. The app, it's so easy to use. They're always hooking you up with great odds, so see for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app today and sign up with promo code BIGHEAD to get your first bet risk-free up to $1,000. That's promo code BIGHEAD. Must be 21 and older and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. Refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call TN Redline 1-800-889-9789.
Now, back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again, it's the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Right to our friend Jarvis Greer from Action News 5. Were you in FedEx Forum on Sunday?
What a great atmosphere it was. My wife and I bought tickets to Fort University, sat up in the terrace level amongst the people.
Whoa!
And
no wonder I didn't see you.
Oh yeah. Section 208, row K.
Oh, my son was in 211, not far from you.
Yeah, just across the way a little bit. But no, it was a tremendous atmosphere. And actually, we were about midway up the terrace level, and it's like we were sitting in the middle, about center court, so that may make a difference. But the view was really, really good, and the big screen, just makes all the difference. You can really see everything. It's a great screen, and the way the building is set up, you weren't too far away from the court. It wasn't like ants running around, but it's a big building. You do not get the full scope of just how big FedEx Forum is unless you go upstairs and look down and look around.
Yeah.
It is a big building.
I've done that.
18,000 seats is 18,000.
I've done that before, and I'll be honest with you, I find myself watching the game on the big screen TV.
On the screen?
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Actually, the PA is a lot better up there. I have to call Jason Wexler and see in the next upgrade if they can't get some bass speakers down the downstairs level so it won't sound tinny. But upstairs, it was fabulous.
Huh.
I guess maybe because the speaker, you're closer to the speaker.
Yeah, probably
Because
so.
you're like looking right at them. You're on eye level with them.
Yeah.
But no, it was great.
How far do you think the Tigers will go? Do they win the American? Do they get to the second weekend of the NCAA tournament?
Well, the deal is, are they going to face? Well, first of all, you got to get past the first round. I'm going to be like the basketball team, which adopted the football team's mantra of 1-0.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get past whoever they face in the first round or in the quarterfinals. But if you get past that quarterfinals, likely you got kryptonite SMU, and if they handle them, I think all bets are off as far as they could go. They could go as far as anybody thought they could go if they could do that. But because that's a style that they don't really play well against, and it's a smaller team, but they all can move and cut and all that good stuff, and they're all good. And right now, I think they got 3 teams out of the American qualifying for the Big Dance.
Well,
so that's a good deal.
Yeah, and some have said, and I don't necessarily agree with this. I think if Memphis and SMU meet in the semifinal round, that Memphis will get in. Now, if they were to lose, they may have to go to Dayton. That might be the punishment. But if you look at the net, now, first of all, they will have beaten probably a UCF team that's 95, so it's a top 100 win. That's going to actually help their net a little bit. They're already in the mid-30s. I don't see how a loss there would get you to Dayton, but it could. Some people think it's for SMU, it would be elimination. They wouldn't get in if they don't win that game. I don't know that is the case. Most of the bracketologists have all 3 American teams in, which, we wouldn't have thought was possible 5-6 weeks ago.
Well, if you look at it, SMU had beat Houston, right? Memphis beat Houston twice, and Houston only has, 6 losses in the whole year or 5?
6.
And
I think,
so 3 of those
Memphis,
losses are –
yeah. Well, you know what? It might
actually teams in the Americas.
It may be only 5 because I think they lost to Wisconsin and to Alabama, and I think that's it. It is only 5. It's so 5. Yeah. 3 of the 5 are in their own conference.
Are in conference.
Yeah.
So that speaks well for those teams in the league. And everybody says, "Oh, the Americans crap." No, it isn't. It's a decent basketball league. And the teams that are in it, you got to beat them to beat them. I mean, the teams at the top half level, and even the teams that are crappy, a couple of them can beat you. And Tulane is much better than people think of the old Tulane. This isn't the old Tulane.
No,
and I really like
Tulane.
He's really good.
Tulane went really wire to wire with SMU pretty much. The last few minutes weren't so good without their best player. Cook didn't even play in that game, so that shows you how good Tulane is. Last thing, will the Grizzlies, with the next 5 games, by the way, they ran them over. It was amazing what they did last night. Will they finish second in the West?
Well, I think it's going to be a race to the finish. I don't think anybody's going to rest because I don't think anybody wants the possibility of having to be the 3rd seed and play Denver if Denver gets healthy, which looks like they're going to get healthy. Looks like they're going to get Murray and Porter back. And if that is the case, then, Denver's a totally different team than they're not bad. They're not a bad team now, but they're way better if they get those 2 back.
Well, I mean, if you're the 2nd seed, you got Minnesota, which is on fire. So there's there's no easy roads in the West.
Right before Minnesota beat the Grizz right before the set. That's a very good team. Finally, their draft picks are starting to pay off for them. So good for them, but I still take my chances on the Grizzlies if you have to say any one of those teams coming out of the play-in. If you're the 2nd seed, I put my money on the Grizzlies.
There you go. He's Jarvis Curry. You watch him every day on Action News 5. Thank you, my friend. And I will see you. I know not. I'm going to see Cassie Carlson in Fort Worth, but
when do you leave?
We're leaving today. I suspect I'll see you at the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, it's hey man, I'm just took my clothes to the cleaners today. We'll see.
But I will
Got my bag ready.
I will talk to you next week. Thank you much. We appreciate it. That is Jarvis Greer. He is brought to you by Dinstall's. He's a sweet guy. Nothing sweeter than Dinstall's. Got to tell you a quick story. Becky Dinstall, her husband Charles, They were sitting in the end zone, and Becky had brought some Cashew Crunch to the game. She wanted to see if Jim Nantz and Bill Raftery would try it. Bring them over there. I kind of had set up Nantz and Raftery before, and they had so much fun talking. Jim had kids there. They went crazy for the Cashew Crunch. Everybody goes crazy for the Cashew Crunch. Don't forget, it's simple. Dinstall's is the Mid-South's candy. It's signature. You got people out of town that miss Memphis, you send it to them. You got family that's homesick, you send it to them. You got clients that you want to amaze and wow. Send them what is the signature, one of the signatures of Memphis. That is Dinstall's, all 5 locations. We thank Stats. We thank Jarvis. I'll come to you tomorrow from Fort Worth. Have a great day, everyone.
I know the sweetest